Hi guys, welcome to Deep Diver. In this video, we will be discussing maps. So this is my VS Code. Let me create the folder and file required for coding related with maps. So I will create a new folder here, 11 underscore maps. And inside this folder, I will create a file maps.go. As usual, we'll add a package main here and also the function main. Let me add a multi-line comment here. Now we are good to start. Map is a data structure which can be used to store key value pairs, and keys should be unique. Map in Golang is similar to unordered map in C++, hash map in Java, and a dictionary in Python. Now let us understand this through an example. Let us suppose I want to create a map where I want to store as a key leader name, and for each key which is the leader name I want to store the age. Okay, so my data structure will look like this. I want a map with the leader say Modi with age 75, Shah with age 62, like that. Okay, so here this key which is basically leader name, this is of type string, and age which is the value is of type int. Now let us see how we can create a map in Golang. So I will name this map as leaders to age, then colon equal, and then we will use make function. So to this make function we need to pass the type of data structure we want. So we want a map, and next we want to provide the type of the keys and the type of the values. So type of the keys we provide inside the square brackets, which is string, and then type of value you provide after that, which is int. So our data structure is created, but there is no element till now, so it is giving error declared and not used. So let us print this. So if I save it and run this, so present working directory Golang coast, let me change it to 11 underscore maps, and now we can run our code. Go run maps.go. So it is printing map has been created, and our map is empty as of now. Now let us see how we can insert element into this map. So to insert element into this map, we're gonna use the map name, and then inside this square bracket we need to provide the key. So key here is leader name. Let us give us Modi, and then use assignment operator, and then the age which is 75 here. Let us add one more leader, Shah, and in this case age is 62. Okay, let us add one more leaders to age. This time I will add Nitish, age let us say 75. Okay, now let us try to print this map after insertion. So fmt.println, and the map name is leaders to age. If I run this command again, you can see here Modi is there with 75, Nitish is there with 75, and Shah is there with age 62. So one thing you might notice here, that in this map we first inserted Modi, then Shah, then Nitish. But here you can see first Modi was printed, that is fine. But after Modi, Nitish is getting printed. Okay. So map does not preserve the order of insertion. Okay. So map is also unordered collection of key value pairs. Why it is like this, I will creating one more video where I will be explaining the internal working of map. There I will discuss why it is like this. Okay, for now just remember that the map is unordered collection of key value pairs. That means the map does not guarantee that you will get the elements in the same order in which you inserted. Now let us say I want to perform an operation like this. We have a existing key in the map Moody, and here I am assigning a value 85. So what do you think is gonna happen? Since I have already told you that keys in a map should be unique, if I try to insert the same key again, what's gonna happen? So if we use an already existing key and assign some new value, then this operation amounts to a update operation. So it will not throw any errors saying that we cannot store duplicates in a map, but it will update the already existing entry. So if I print the map again, okay, so map after updation, map name is leaders to edge. Let me clear this, go run maps.go. You can see here now on the key Modi we have the value 85 instead of 75, and the length of the map is still 3. Okay, for finding the length of a map we can use the same len function which we already have used with array and slices. So if we pass the map here, it will give the number of key value pairs in the map. So here we'll print size of map. So here we can see the size of the map is 3. Now let us see how this map will behave when we try to access an element which is not present in this map. Let us say I do fmt.println leaders to edge. Let us say we try to find the key trump which is not there in the map. Let me add a string here as well, edge of trump is. So here you can see it is returning edge of trump is 0, although this key trump does not exist in the map. So what actually happens is whenever we try to access a key which is not there in the map, we get a 0 value. So here the key is of type string and value is of type int, and here we try to find the value corresponding to trump. So here it is printing 0 because the default 0 value of integer is 0. Okay, if instead of this we had a string, then this age of trump will return an empty string. Let me change this all these integers to string, and let me show you this as well. Okay, so now I have converted all those integers to a string. Here you can see age of trump is, which is not printing anything because the key is not found in this map, and then it returns a 0 value corresponding to this string. Okay, now let me change it back to integer. So we have reverted that change. Now if I try to conclude based on the values returned on accessing this key that whether the key trump is present or not, is that reliable? Let me rephrase that. What if I write this? Leaders to age trump is equal to 0, fmt.println trump is not present in map. So if we try to check like this, is this reliable? Absolutely not, because if we have keys with value 0, let us say trump with value 0, so from our check what it will conclude, it will conclude that trump is not present in map, but the key is present but with value 0. So how can we conclude whether a key exists in a map or not in a better way? So this accessing elements based on key returns two things. First is the value and then a boolean whether this key exists or not. Okay, so let me comment this out and now write if exists, then fmt.println key is present with value. We can write here val, else fmt.println key is not present. Okay, so here we need to use colon equal instead of equal. Okay, so if now I execute this code, you'll see it is printing key is not present, and this if else is based on this exists variable. Okay, now if I uncomment this line and add trump to this map, this time we should get key is present with value 0. So this is printing key is present with values 0. So this is how you check whether a key exists in a map or not in Golang. Now let us see how we can delete a key from a map. So for deleting a key, we can use delete function, and first argument it requires is the name of the map. So name of the map is leaders to age, and let us say we want to delete the key trump. Okay, and now if I print again, so map after deletion leaders to age. So you can see now the trump is not present in the map. Let me add one more statement here just before this deletion so that we can compare very clearly. Map before deletion. Okay, so here you can see map before deletion is this, which is having 4 elements, and trump is having 0 as a value, but after deletion it is having only 3 elements. Okay, now what if we want to delete all the elements from the map? So for that we can use clear function, and we can pass here the name of the map, and it will delete all the elements inside this map. If I introduce one more print statement, map after clearing leaders to age, you will see now the map is empty. Okay, now let me comment this delete and clear print statement. Now let us see how we can iterate a map. To iterate a map, we can use the same for with range, which we have been using in case of arrays, slices, etc. So let us use for. So as in case of array, it return two things, index and values. Here it will also return two things, but here it will be key and value. And we want to range over our map, which is leaders to age. And now let us say we simply want to print it. So key value. Before that, let me introduce a print statement fmt.println iterating our map. If I run this code again, so we have our statement iterating our map, and after this, for all those 4 elements in the map, we have our keys and values getting printed. So if you notice in the map, we have first pushed Modi, then Shah, then Nitish, and then Trump. Okay, and while iterating over the map, it is also giving the keys and value in the same order. Does it mean that the map preserves order? Absolutely not. It is just a coincidence that it has printed the elements in the same order, but it does not guarantee that. So let us try to run this again. Go run maps.go. Now this time the order is not preserved, and you can see Trump coming first, but we have pushed Trump in the last. Okay, So in map, the order is not guaranteed. Now let us discuss the most important concept of map, which is maps are reference types. What do I mean by this? So whenever you create a map variable, it does not store the actual data, but it stores a reference to where the data lives in memory. Okay, so what I mean by this, let me explain it through an example. Let us say I am creating one more map and I am initializing this with the already existing map. Okay, and now let us print this map2 will pass leaders age 2 and map 1 will pass here the already existing map leaders to age. Okay, here on line number 52, when we are creating a new map leaders to age 2 using an existing map leaders to age, what gets stored in leaders to age 2? It's not the actual map but the reference to where the map lives in the memory. So when we try to change the content of map2, let us say we are introducing one more key, let us say Obama with value 65. Okay, so what do you think is gonna happen? As maps are reference type, this leaders to age does not store the actual values, but it stores the reference to the memory location where this map lives. And when we did this on line number 52, this leaders to age2 also has a reference to the memory location where that map lives. So when we try to modify the new map, okay, the old map will also gets modified. Why? Because both of them have the same reference and the reference is pointing to the same memory location. So now let me go ahead and run this code. Let me clear this and run this code again. Go run maps.go. So here you will see this map2 is having this Obama 65, which is expected, but the map 1, which was our older map, is also having Obama 65. Why? Because maps are reference types. Now let us discuss one last thing. In starting, we created a map here using make function and then inserted elements into that map. Now what I want is, I want to initialize a map, and while initializing only I want to add all these elements into that map. So let us see how we can do that. So let me comment all this code and let us create a map with the same name leaders to age, and here we will not use make function, but here we will simply use the data structure type, which is map string and then int, which is our value type. So here inside this curly braces we can provide all the key values pair. So here you can give Modi, separated by colon we can provide the value to this key Modi. So let us say 75, and then next is Shah and value is 62, and next is Nitish and value is 75. So in this way we can initialize a map with key value pairs as well. So let us add a string here. I will insert a message map initialized with elements, and now let us run this code. Go run maps.go. So here you can see we have the output map initialized with elements and all the elements of the maps are there. So this is it for this video. See you in the next one.